Okay, suppose we want to save a data source. So you've set up the data source, you have the extract or live or whatever, you've set up a filter. Now you want to save that data source. And for that, you have to go to a worksheet. Okay. It must be done from a worksheet. Point to your data connection and right click. So here is a data connection. Right click. Okay. Select add to saved data sources. Now that will save a Tableau data source. And you can select where you want to save it. So here there is a default directory, my Tableau repository, and data sources. So all the data sources will be saved there. So the next time you want to use that data source, you can open that, and it will have all the filters and stuff that you have made, the changes that you have made in the data source, everything will be available to you at that point. Okay, so that would be saving a data source. Saving a workbook combines the data source, connection metadata, and all the work that you have done on one file. So if you save the Tableau file, then you will get all the connections and everything. So connect to your database. Now let's go back to data source and here. So here you can connect to database, okay, like access, okay, and cloud services, and we have already discussed these previously. Let's look at now. Let's skip that. We have already seen that. What we want now is to generate an extract. Okay, there it is. Extract data. Click extract. Now you can save the extract file, the data that you have extracted. If it is an extract, then that's what you go from the orders, from that particular sheet, and you've extracted some data, and you can save that. And once you've saved the extracted file will have the extension TDE. Okay. Now I have already saved an extract, so let's close this and start. Okay. So let's open an extract. See, Tableau extract, and here is the sample super sales English extract. And I made some corrections, made some changes to the original data and made an extract of that. And as we will see, I'll show you what those changes that I have made. So go ahead and open this extract. Okay. This is in your zip file. And okay, if you go to sheet 1, then you see that I have added some hierarchies here. These are the changes that I made, and we will talk about what hierarchies are and how you use hierarchies later on. Okay, so right now, what I'm showing is when you make those changes and then you extract the data and save it as an extract, then you can bring the extract back in this fashion. So so now we're going to use this extract and take container, put that in columns. Okay. So now we have, I have container. So there is continent and container. So we want container there. So we have the different types of containers that are sold by this company, and then we're going to look at profit and sales. Okay. So when you put profit and sales into row, it prepares two different graphs, one for profit, one for sales. So now if you want side by side, so you go to show me, and here are the three different ways in which you can prepare bar graphs. So this will be a separate graph, this will be one on top of the other, and that's your side by side. Okay. So now you see that in the filter and the columns, you don't have sales and profit, instead it shows measure name. The measure name simply means that we have some, not all, of the variables. So if you click here and look at edit filter, you see these are the measures that are available, okay, of which we are using profit and sales. If you want to add one more, just click and apply, and you see that that gets applied too. Okay, but we don't want that. Keep it like that. Now, if the data includes standard geographic fields such as country, state, postal code, and city, then your visualization would be automatically altered. So let's create a new sheet. Okay. Now, let's move the region here to filter, and we will select only the US regions. Let's leave the international out. Okay. Click OK. Now, if you move the mapping items hierarchy, so here mapping items has 4 different levels, and they go from the country level to the state level to postal code down to city. So move this to here. Okay. So now we have a map. So Tableau knows that these are all geographical fields, and therefore it brings up a map and gives you just one summarized value. Okay. Now if you click that plus, okay, this is the point of making hierarchies. When you make hierarchies, then you see a plus, and when you click the plus, you know, for date field, the hierarchy is automatic, because Tableau knows that there is a year function, there is a month function, there is a quarter function, and there is an implied hierarchy there. But if you have variables that are not, the hierarchies of which only the content manager knows, but not the software, then you can create those hierarchies, and the plus will appear, and then you can drill down the hierarchy. So if you click the plus, then the next level shows up, 1 point for each state. Then if you click that further, then you get 1 point for each postal code, and then 1 point for each city. And of course, by clicking the minus sign, then you can go back up. Okay. So that is an example of map function, or a mapping functionality. Okay, let's do one more, which is number of records. And we've talked about number of records before. Okay, so here is number of records. Okay. Like longitude and latitude are calculated values in Tableau. Number of records is a calculated value by Tableau. It's automatically created. So you can use that in your visualizations and then dissect as well. So if you use just number of records, then it will give you the total number of records. And then if you use dimensions in it, then you will see number of records diced to the dimension levels. Okay, so move number of records to row. So you have just one bar. So that is, it is the total number of records in the data set. It's like 16,798 records. Okay. Now if you move customer segment into columns, then that is broken down into different customer segment. Okay. So now if you add totals, okay, so row total, so it will give you the individual number of records and then the total. Now suppose you want the number of records to be shown at the top. Right? Now, if you hover, of course, you are going to see how many records are there in or what is the value for each bar. But if you want that value to be displayed at the top, there are a couple of ways in which you can do that. So you click that ABC, okay, right there, and it will show you the values. Or another way of doing that is move the number of records to labels, and that will create a pill for you, and then it will. If you don't want too much clutter here, then I think this would be the best. Click that, then you will have the number of records that show up there. And another way is, there are several ways in which you can do this. You can select all the bars by right clicking and selecting all, and then from any one of the bars, if you see marked label which says show always, that will show the labels as well. Okay. All right. So we'll stop here. Once again, these are kind of we are slowly getting into the meat of the subject in terms of data itself, and we will be looking at joining data and extracting, blending data later in this chapter, which are